A very good evening to you and welcome to RTV News with me, Fiona Mbabazi and
Sam Kalisa.
Now, President Paul Kagame has pointed out that Africa should speak with one voice on the importance of global vaccine equity, both now and in the future. Now, the Rwandan head of state made the statement during the discussions of the second ASWAN Forum for Sustainable Peace and Development on Monday. The African leader also pointed that the COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the need for nations to build stronger health sectors.
First, the pandemic has highlighted the critical importance of increasing domestic health financing on our continent. National health systems have been the backbone of pandemic response on our continent. As I highlighted in my last report to the African Union as the champion for domestic health financing, tools are available to help governments not only spend more, but spend better. Second, Africa's Continental Health Institution, the Africa CDC, has proven its value during this pandemic. It has helped secure and distribute test kits and protective equipment, collected epidemiological data, and supported the collective procurement of supplies and vaccines. We must further strengthen Africa CDC to ensure its autonomy and effectiveness. I also urge member states to sign and ratify the African Medicines Agency Treaty so that it comes into force as soon as possible. Third, we must double down on implementation of the Continental Free Trade Area as the key strategy for rebuilding better. In that context, creating robust continental supply chains for pharmaceutical manufacturing is essential for Africa's future health security. Finally, Africa should speak with one voice on the importance of global vaccine equity, both now and in the future.
Moving ahead, parliamentarians have asked the government to show how it intends to increase the country's capacity to store petroleum products with reserves that can last for at least 4 months. Serge Nore has the story.
At a privately owned fuel depot located at Gassiata here in Kigali City, operations are in full swing, loading and unloading petroleum products vital to the country's transportation sector to remain operational, and in extension other sectors as well.
Capacity is 20 million liters. PMS, which is essence, is 7 million liters, and the AGO, which is mazout, is 13 million liters.
Figures indicate that Rwanda's import of petroleum products has increased by as much as 11% in the last 7 years. While presenting their findings to the General Assembly of the Chamber of Deputies in Parliament after carrying out research on the issue of the country's capacity to store petroleum products, members of the Committee on Economy and Trade put forward certain recommendations.
During our visits in Gasabo, we visited the fuel depots at Gatsiata, and we found that even petroleum importers are not able to fill their tanks at petrol stations. They therefore want bigger fuel depots so that they in turn can fill their stations to capacity, saying it would help their business.
We found that fuel depots are built right alongside major roads, which should not be the case because that is not a safe thing to do. In addition to such concerns, the parliamentarians are asking the government to show how it intends to increase the country's capacity to store petroleum products with reserves that can last for at least 4 months. We have shown the General Assembly that such an operation will no doubt be very expensive, but there is no question that an increased storage capacity is necessary, which is why we asked to look into government policies to address this, though they are yet to be made public, so that we can analyze the feasibility study and see how those storage facilities are to be upgraded, which we believe to be vital. Also, the master plan here in the city and in the provinces as well should clearly indicate areas reserved for these fuel depots, as this would help potential investors to step in and assist the government with addressing this issue. Back in 2012, Rwanda was looking to be able to store as much as 150 million litres of petroleum products exclusively as reserve by 2017, able to last for at least 4 months, but that is yet to be achieved. The country's total storage capacity in its depots is currently 111.2 million litres, just 74.1% of that original goal, and 100 million litres are stored, with half as strategic stock and the rest used commercially on a daily basis. That means Rwanda's fuel depots would run dry in just 1.5 months if supplies were to stop coming in, not the 4 months originally planned. Depots able to store an extra 30.7 million litres are to be built, raising the country's capacity to 141.9 million litres in the next 4 years.
Now, those that were supported by the late Father Ubald Rugirangoga, including those that he would pray for, and they would get healed from different ailments, along with those he helped recover emotionally from the trauma that they went through during the 1994 genocide that was perpetrated against the Tutsis, say he left a great legacy for the country that will always be remembered.
The farewell ceremony for Father Ubald Rugirangoga was held at Regina Pacis Parish at Remera, here in Kigali. It was attended by Catholics and people from different walks of life and those who worked with the deceased in the past. Some of those he prayed for and were healed from different diseases, such as cancer, say that they will never forget what he meant to them.
I had breast cancer in 2015. I swear on God's name, I got healed. I had sharp pains and a tumor in my breast that was going through to the veins in my neck. Through his prayers, I got healed and I have no problem up to now. I pray that he will be added onto the list of saints by the Pope so he can intercede for us. Father Ubald for me was more than a priest, he was a father to me. He prayed for my mom who had cancer and she healed. It's impossible to forget him. I don't even know how life will be without him.
There are those who say that it will be difficult to find another person with such a gift of praying for the sick. In Rusizi district, Father Ubald launched a reconciliation program where perpetrators of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi apologized to those who were wronged to promote unity and reconciliation. The person who killed my father was called Uzabakiriho Telesfol, and I didn't know him. When it had just happened, Father Ubald taught us about forgiveness. What surprised me is that my wife sought refuge in the same family of Telesfol that killed my father during the genocide against the Tutsi. I cried and I couldn't believe it. We later forgave each other. Telesfol visits me and we attend each other's social events.
Telesfol turaganira, Telesfol nkoresha ubukwe akabwitabira, Telesfol akoresha ubukwe nkabujyamo. Azikwabayeho leta mbi.
Because of the bad leadership we had, I found Philip's dad on his farm and killed him. Father Ubald is the one that found us in prisons and talked to us. I now live in harmony with Philip. In 2015, Father Ubald was presented with an award as a protector of the Covenant, or Umurinzi w'Igihango, for his role in launching the Unity and Reconciliation Program at the Mushaka Parish. Bishop John Ruchahana, chairman of the National Unity and Reconciliation Community, has commended Father Ubald Rugirangoga for his contribution to the betterment of all Rwandans. He played a very important role in exposing and fighting divisionism, and his work will never be forgotten, because it is now part of Rwanda's history. We will continue to use it in the work of redemption. He took part in the reconciliation of Rwandans who were devastated by the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi, and asked those that had committed crimes to apologize and heal as well. Cardinal Antoine Kambanda has described the death of Father Ubald Rugirangoga as a loss to the Church, Rwanda, and Christians in general. We lost him at a time we still needed him, but God gave him to us, and He has taken him away. And today is a great legacy He has left behind for Rwandans, to call out divisions based on the ethnicities that destroyed our country and build the unity of Rwandans, meaning His message went beyond the Catholic Church and He helped Rwandans in general, and even foreigners. So it's upon us to continue His legacy as Christians and Rwandans in general. After the farewell mass read at Regina Pacis on Monday in Kigali, Father Ubald Rugirangoga will be buried on Tuesday in Rusizi district. Father Ubald Rugirangoga was born on April 26, 1995 and died on January 7, 2021 in the United States of America. Indeed, may his soul rest in peace. While Central Bank of Rwanda's Financial Stability Committee estimates that the number of people using mobile phones for payments and remittances has increased by 13% in 2020 compared to 2019. However, many lament over various service fees.
Joseph Nshimiye says there is no coin or banknote in his pocket, that he only pays through technology. He says that this has been a tradition, but not without challenges. When I transact, I'm told that I cannot do more than 3 million. As we speak, I have surpassed my limit. That means I need to get a new SIM card so that I can transact. In a month, we are told we cannot do more than 30 million. They're telling us to go cashless, but why do we have limits? They should remove this. However, many say that e-payment systems have eased ways of payments for many, as most people attest. An employee would make mistakes while returning the change, and at times take even longer while trying to get the change. Olivier Mugabonake, chairman of the FinTech Private Sector Customer Technology Association, says customers are at times skeptical, but once they use the services, they are pleased. Some people feared this, but once they started using it, they are happy. It has eased life for many. For example, why would one take a motor to go pay 3,000 yet they can easily send it digitally? The Central Bank of Rwanda's Financial Stability Committee estimates that the number of mobile phone users in payments and remittances has risen 13% from 4,139,075 million in 2019 to 4,688,124 million by 2020. Mobile payments increased by 85% from 378.8 million to 2,349 million Rwandan francs in 2019 to 701 million, equivalent to 7,177 million Rwandan francs by 2020. The number of payment transactions using POS technology has increased by 511% from 7 million to 45 million.
Now, rice farmers in various wetlands in Gisagara district say that rice cultivation has been progressing and has become productive. They, however, say that the interest is still low because of the low prices as compared to the efforts they put into growing it. Now, the farmers point out that before starting modern farming, they just cultivated however they saw fit and they would not get the best results. They say they used to do subsistence farming for the most part and they would remove the husks traditionally because they didn't have any rice processing plants nearby. Now, after they started practicing modern farming, they also formed cooperatives and started developing Gisagara district. Officials say that rice production in the region has now increased 10 times over since they started modern farming practices. Officials at the Rwanda Agricultural Board says that since the year 2000, when they started rehabilitating wetlands, rice production in the country has increased from just 2 tons per hectare annually to 10 tons per hectare every year, and that they plan to increase the surface area used to grow rice as well as introduce new seeds in order to help the country become self-sufficient.
Moving ahead, in the last 2 months, up to 4,357 children that had dropped out of school in Kirehe district of the eastern province of the country have resumed their studies. The district had reported that it had close to 5,000 school dropouts. This comes as a result of efforts by the district authorities as well as other stakeholders. Reasons for such a high dropout rate had ranged from domestic violence and lack of means to afford school fees, and the district officials say that the few remaining children that have not yet restarted their school will be assisted to do so as soon as possible. Parents and other guardians in the country that fail in their responsibilities to ensure that their children get an education now face fines of between 5,000 and 10,000 Rwandan francs as now required by the law. Anyone found using a minor for labor resulting in their not going to school faces fines of between 200,000 Rwandan francs and 500,000 Rwandan francs.
Well, on behalf of the entire news team that made this news possible, led by news director Jean-Vieux Murenzi and, of course, cameraman Ali Butari, thank you very much for being part of us. My name is Fiona Mbabazi and...
My name is Sam Kalisa. Please do remember that COVID-19 is still out there, and please observe social distancing whenever in public.
Of course, wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water.
Remember to wear a face mask correctly, and yes, together
we can flatten the curve. Have yourselves a lovely, fruitful and blessed new month ahead.